Hi, Kojo. I'm good. How are you?
Able to unmute yourself and everything, right?
Let me just check really fast.
I made you the host. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you might have to transfer co-host to me if is that possible on your end?
Oh, yeah. I made you the co-host. Yeah. I made you the co-host now.
Okay, perfect. It's there
Yeah.
now. Thank you.
Great, 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 great. Just give it two more minutes. Yeah. So I just want to welcome you to this webinar. It's on BSMD, and my husband always makes fun of me that I kill people with content. But my point is, how can you convey the complete story in like 5 slides? Right. So it's going to be like jam-packed with a lot of information, but you will get an opportunity to ask questions. Please chat any questions that you have. I have my wonderful intern who is Prisha. She's in grade 10. She was my social media intern. Now she's my webinar admin and my associate. She's amazing. So without further ado, let's get started. If you just want to type in which state you're from, it'll be wonderful. I'd like to know where you're from. That just to know where I am, and I will be telling you where I am from shortly. Got it? So let's get started. I just want to thank you, and please take a moment to pat yourself in the back, because I mean, you're spending this Saturday evening learning. That in my books makes you a great parent, because you want to learn and you want to enrich your child. So please, even if you don't know all the information, you're here to learn. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me start away. I have a lot of slides, and also I have a lot of freebies, but you've got to stay till the end to get a freebie. I know a lot of you are looking for valuable internships. I have a wonderful list. Then you will get the complete list of BSMD, BSDO, and also a complete guide about both the programs as well. That's towards the end. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, here we are. I'm Coach Joe. Okay, why won't it go to the next slide? Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Okay, Prisha, how does it look? Good? Do you see the presentation and me?
No, it doesn't seem to show the presentation as a screen share. It's just showing one small window on my end.
What is it that you see? Oh,
I'm just seeing the little screen in place of gifted gabber. Oh, okay. It's good now, yes. And I can see the presentation now. I cannot see you, as I think the screen where your video is, it's also the presentation. So you might have to.
Okay, hold on. I'm just trying.
Okay. I can see you both now.
I'm sorry. What are you seeing right now? I'm so sorry. I'm so confused.
Now I can see you, and the agenda.
Okay, great. You see like a screen where I'm talking in a window and then there's a presentation and everything, right?
Yes, yeah.
Perfect. So let's get started. Without further ado, here we go. Let me just move this over here. Sorry about the technical glitch. So we are all good now. So this is the agenda. I'm going to start by what are the different medical paths that are there? And I mean, we can't put all our eggs in one basket, which is the BSMD or the BSDO, right? We need to consider what is out there as well. And what are the two programs that are there, the BSMD, BSDO? What is the difference? Then you're going to also see what it takes to be, I mean, the ingredients of a successful medical applicant, then gifted gabbers results, and what is our edge in cracking the BSMD. Got it? So let's get started. Freebies and specials will be announced in the end, just like any suspenseful serial or a movie. It will be announced in the end, and we reward people for coming in live. So all these freebies that you get here, people won't get it. It's exclusively for people who come to the webinar in person. Okay, so who is Coach Joe, or who is Joe? Right. Basically, I'm a Tony Robbins certified life coach. I'm a positive psychology coach. I coach and mentor ADHD kids and a bit on the spectrum. I'm not certified to coach autistic kids, but I've trained under Peg Dawson, who's an executive functioning coach. Executive functioning skills are the prefrontal cortex of the brain, where all your main skills are like the planning, prioritization, metacognition, working memory, goal-directed persistence. Everything is here. So the thing is, the core skills that are there are developing in a teen between 15 and 25. But our school system and the college system is such that there's so much demand that's put on the prefrontal cortex of the brain, which is still developing. Got it? I'm also a meditation instructor. I practice pranic healing. I'm also, I did my college counseling from UC Berkeley. Now some of my classmates or students who go through the UC Berkeley, they come and shadow me for their practicum completion. Okay, so these are my certification. A bit about me, I graduated from REC Calicut, or NITC Calicut as they call it, from India. Of course, I was a semester topper. I was fourth in the University of Calicut. My husband is from Harvard. He does master's from Harvard. My oldest son is in Georgia Tech. He's going to graduate this May in like 2.5 years. He's finishing up there. My youngest son is in 10th grade. I live in Pennsylvania in a city called Chester Springs. Really cute, laid back town. I really love it. It's close to Philly and New Jersey as well. And I have over 20 years of corporate experience. I just quit. I just gave up my job to follow my passion, which is to mentor teens. And I'm constantly on the lookout to enhance their experience. Okay, so all my programs are built in such a way that we deliver results. Whatever it is, we are constantly delivering results. You see tangibility, like there's a transformation from the time they come to the time they go. Otherwise, I don't create a program. And I apply a lot of the skills. I myself am doing research on performance of Gen Z, which is the teen generation, and how to enhance them. So my mentor is Peg Dawson, the leading psychologist. She shares a lot of information. I'm trained under her. I use her worksheets, her methodology, her books, and she shares a lot of other researchers who have used techniques for that. So I'm constantly on the lookout for things. So let's get started to the main part, which is which is the first thing on the agenda, which are what are the different paths for medical field. Okay, we're not going to just dive right into the BSMD program because you've got to have that kind of a backup as well. Okay, so the traditional one is the 4+4. There is nothing called as a pre-med track. You can either do biology, chemistry, or even computer science. But then before getting into your MCAT, you should have done certain things like organic chemistry or biology, or this is a set of requirements, which I'm not going to dwell deep into, which you can do. Then you take the MCAT. You need about 508 to get into schools. But if you want to get into the top tier MD schools, then it's 514. I may be wrong. So you take the MCAT and then you do your med school. Okay, so I have students who do that also, traditional path. I have a student who got into Vanderbilt, yay. So he's going to do his pre-med there and then do his MD. Okay, so that is the traditional path. Then you have something in between the traditional and the BSMD, which is the early assurance program. That is, you get into the pre-med track or an undergrad, then you have an option of going into the BSMD program after your second year. So it's a good thing. I like this in-between thing because it helps teens sort of really like analyze and then make a decision. Just check it out. Is a medical field for you before you do that? So Case Western is one of the wonderful program that they have, early assurance program. So that is one of the choice as well that you have. The next one is the combined BSMD program. It is like you get in after your 12th grade and you're assured to be in the BSMD program. And not all schools, there are very, very few schools who waive the MCAT, but it's still extreme. It's colleges that have waived the MCAT from the BSMD program, they're even harder to get in. You get it extremely, extremely hard. My son's classmate, Christina, she is in Penn State. She got into the BSMD program, cream of the crop. She's an amazing, amazing kid. And she told me how difficult this program is. So you have to maintain your GPA and to be in the program. And in case you drop, your GPA drops and you're out of the program, you still can complete your undergrad. Got it? And most of them have an MCAT requirement for the combined program. Okay, any questions, please type away. I'll get to them in the end. I do have ADHD and I'm very hyper. So if I start looking at your questions, I'll never go through this presentation. So I have to stick to the schedule, okay? What are the advantages of the early assurance program? Like I mentioned, it sort of gives them like 2 years to sort of like make sure that yes, they're certain about what is it that they want to do, right? It's not like they are locked into it and they can't get out, right? It's always good. What does a 17-year-old know what they want to do in life, right? So it's always good to explore it because it's a long drawn. The medical field is like really long drawn, and it's a good thing to test waters before making the decision. And I'm also going to discuss first about the BSDO, then I'm going to come to the BSMD. So I'm going to compare both the BSMD and the BSDO. They are basically two fields. They're two separate fields. The MD is the allopathy or the modern medicine. The DO is osteopathic, which is basically, they have their own methodology of doing it, which is osteopathic manipulative treatment, which is more spine-based, which is more holistic. And next time you go to the doctor, check with them what their degree is, because my primary care physician is a DO. Got it? And I asked him, he's like, yeah, I did my DO, but I came into the mainstream. So a lot of doctors with BSDO, they come into the mainstream, or they go and they practice sports medicine or something. So DO is a very, very up and coming field. Nova Southeastern is my most favorite BSDO school. My student got in there. So yeah, so there are many options when it comes to BSDO also. And please don't assume that BSDO is very easy to get it. It's also kind of difficult, but marginally easier than BSMD. The word on the street is it's less competitive, but it's just marginally a shade less competitive than the BSMD. The accelerated programs are always, always, always hard because of the rigor. And also they take very, 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 very few candidates because they want to be sure as to whether a child, they are children, right? Whether a 17-year-old or 18-year-old can put up with the rigor of it, right? And it's like a marathon. It's like really long, 8 to 10 years that they have got to do that, right? Next, I'm going to come to the BSMD program. So it's the direct MD program. They do the BS and then MD. And also you see sometimes it's a 3+4, meaning they are doing their undergrad in 3 years. They will never accelerate the MD program, but they'll accelerate the BS program. Got it? So that is what it is. So BS MD means you're locked into an 8-year or a 7-year program. And you know for a fact that you're going to be in that program. Brown Plume is supposed to be extremely, extremely the best, but it is also, why am I sharing? Okay. I'm sorry, Prisha, are you able to see my screen properly?
No, it's gotten small again.
Okay.
It is not presenting.
It's not presenting. Hold on a minute. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, now?
Yes, now I can see it.
Okay, got it. Sorry about that. Okay, so how much of my screen are you seeing? I'm sorry, I did a new setup and I'm just not so sure how it's looking. So I just want to quickly see how it's live streaming as well, so that okay, it's looking all right. Okay, so got it. Okay. Yes. Any questions about the direct MD program, please type away. I apologize for whatever technical glitch that we are encountering. Okay. So how hard is it to get into a BSMD program? Got it. BSMD programs, they are like notoriously competitive. Even their acceptance rate is even lower than an IV to that matter. Got it. It is sort of like 1 to 3%. Got it? Like that is how many students they take in, right? It's because of the rigor. Why is it so hard? It's because of the rigor, the sustenance. They want to make sure that they get the best candidates because of the effort that goes into like how much the college has to like sort of spend into training a candidate for the BSMD program. That is why they're so competitive, right? Anywhere from 1 to 3 to 5%. And if you're applying to a place like Hofstra, sorry, what am I doing? I'm sorry. Okay. So if you were to apply to a school like Hofstra, they're very, very clear. They even tell you that they only need candidates who are in the class rank of 1 to 5%. Got it? It's there on their website. That if you're not within that range of 1 to 5%, they don't even want you to apply. Got it? So that is how competitive the BSMD and the BSDO program is. Okay. And when I build my students' college list, it's not like I put all the eggs in one basket, one BSMD basket. I have like a good range of other pre-med schools as well that have a BSMD program, but it would also be okay if they didn't get in. They would get a very good undergrad program to go into. So that is how I build my college list. And also most of the colleges that offer the BSMD program, they have an exceptional undergrad program as well. My favorite is University of Alabama. They have an exceptional undergrad program, right? You can do research, you can do anything after that. Then there is St. Louis University, SLU, University of South Alabama. There are a lot of colleges that are there. The notoriously competitive ones are Brown, Penn, pit and all that. But yeah, so that's what I have. And any questions, please type them away. If it's a lot to digest, please don't panic. You can go back and watch the recording. Everything is being recorded, so you don't have to worry. And you will get a copy of the recording. Got it? Yeah. So you have two flavors of the BSMD. You can either do BSMD or BAMD. I have a wonderful student. She is doing BAMD in Drexel. Got it? Because she said, I just want to explore art. I want to do literature. So that's also possible. So the thing is, the first 2 years they do BA, and then the second 2 years, like the third and the fourth year, they catch up on the sciences. So it's such a flexible program. A lot of people don't consider BAMD. There are some schools in New Jersey that are exclusively BAMD. Is it Roman? I forgot which one. I can't remember. So there are some schools that only offer BAMD. Okay, that's also a good option to consider. Okay, so the accelerated programs, the 6 year is not there anymore. There is 7 and there is 8. My student got into Augusta. Augusta is a 3+4 year program. Got it? But typically it's 8 year. If you apply to Brown or any other school, it's an 8-year program. Okay, so any questions so far before we move on to the next thing on the agenda is the key ingredients for a BSMD program. Any questions, please type away. I will get to them. Okay, so these are the key ingredients. Got it? Academics, whatever people tell you, it's extremely important. Academics, I have bundled everything in them. Academics is your GPA, your course rigor, your test scores, all of them are very, very important, all 3 of them. Then there's extracurricular activities, which is also community service. I bundled them inside that. Your community service, your shadowing, all that comes under that. Then recommendations. And I'll tell you that there are some, like I'll go through the 3-part application process for BSMD, and you'll get an idea as to why recommendations are extremely important. Like initially when you apply, there is the teacher recommendation, and then there are schools like University of Alabama that you have to again apply to the BSMD program after you get accepted, and they need another set of recommendations for that. So that is also extremely important. Then leadership, they look for leadership and essays. So these are the 5 ingredients. Whatever is there, it falls like other things that you know of, they all fall under these 5 categories. Okay. Okay, so number 1 is academics. Okay, when I say academics, they're looking for GPA, they're looking for class rank, they're looking for AP course rigor and everything in this. Okay. Then when it comes to test scores, please don't think that it's test optional when it comes to BSMD, because BSMD is an extremely competitive program, and they do consider the SAT, ACT scores, and don't think that it's optional. Got it? And you're expected to have a very, very high score, because schools that waive the MCAT, they use the SAT or ACT score to get in. Got it? PSAT is not really required, but I'm just telling you because it's part of it. It's for the national merit and everything scholarship that you get. Then your SAT scores you need to have in the range of 1550 and above, and ACT you need 34 or 35. Okay, Duke, for example, like it's also a very competitive pre-med school. It needs 35. 35 is their cutoff for ACT. So like if if the acceptance rate is like 1 to 3%, then their test scores are also very, very important. Okay, now I'm going to come to the extracurricular activities, the wow factor. That is what differentiates kids from others, right? Because if you see a lot of BSMD applicants, they have exceptional grades, test scores, and everything. But what sets them apart are these 3 ingredients, which is volunteering, shadowing, and research. Got it? So I'm just going to go deeper into each one of them. Okay, volunteering, you can do it in the research clinics, nursing home, hospice care, hospitals, and a lot of schools like our own school district, which is Downingtown School District, has an allied medical program where in the senior year, select students, they spend like half a day or after school, they go to hospital, like in our case, Paoli. to go and volunteer in the hospital. So that is there. Or you need to find places where you can go and sort of volunteer there in the hospital or any place, because volunteering is an extremely important ingredient in that. Okay, and then shadowing. Shadowing can be anybody. I tell my students, put on a very sweet smiling face, go to your pediatrician and ask them for thing. Oh, please, you help me, take care of me. Can I please shadow you? Please, please, please. I mean, with a sweet smile. And I want to be a doctor like you, right? Instead of parents, I mean, parents also can ask, but if a student goes and asks their own pediatrician, it would be good. Then physicians. Now, I think slowly the pandemic, it's relaxing. So the opportunities are slowly coming, not so much. I have a lot of doctor friends whom I tried asking for my students, and they said that it's still a thing. And also you can shadow at a dentist or a chiropractor as well. So there is no problem with that. Got it? What they want to see is a student having gone out of their comfort zone and looked at how a medical professional operates, right? It can even be an optometrist. I had a student who shadowed an optometrist and everything. Yeah. Okay, and then another key ingredient is research. Okay, I have met with admissions officer. I in fact visited Franklin and Marshall, which is a liberal arts school, but has a very good pre-med program. And the admission officer said, number for one thing they look is research. Why do they see research? Because it gives them an evidence that a child is a deep learner. The problem with this generation is that they're surface learners, got it? So that level of deep learning is sort of lacking in this generation. But research forces them to dig deeper and be subject matter expert in a specific topic. It can be anything, got it? My students have done research, tons and tons of research. In fact, my research student got into Stanford. She was my research student. She was not my counseling student. She got into Stanford recently. Okay, and I'm also going to show you an acceptance letter from Duke that shows how important research is. Okay. So the different kinds of research that you can do is publish a research paper, which is what I offer. It's done with a professor. You work with a professor. The professor has to be a PhD and being in the cutting edge place. It cannot, if you're just doing it with a PhD aspirant or something, it's not considered complete research. It has to be a subject matter expert. You can also work in a lab and do research. I had a student who worked in a lab and she was involved in some DNA sequencing or something like that. She got into the PIT dental program. She had a paper in her name. Then research, hospitals and universities also you can do, which is kind of a little bit rare now because of the pandemic. Okay. So a well-researched paper, what is a research paper? A research paper, in order to be published, it needs to be peer-reviewed. There are certain publications that accept high school students' papers, which is what we prepare them. So they write a research paper, and then it's peer-reviewed by expert in that. It's reviewed, it's not just peer reviewed, it's reviewed by experts in that field, and it's deemed good and it gets published. Okay, so when it gets published, you can put the DOI number in your resume, which also adds to your profile, right? For BSMD program. Then it's published, and you own the research paper and you publish it in different places. And the research topic is specifically from a medical field, okay? So that is also very, very important. It should be like biomed or some STEM related topic that will really enhance your application. Any questions about research paper and research, please type them away. I'll answer them. Next is the teacher recommendation, right? So teacher recommendation is a crucial component because it speaks about maturity. If you see, I'm not shared this with you, but there's a teacher recommendation. When they write it, they have 10 qualities that they need to judge a student by. Okay, whether they are mature, they're showing maturity, whether they've shown intellectual curiosity, whether they are helpful in class, whether they are determined to succeed, do they have leadership quality. So teacher recommendations are very, very important. in the school, and as well as counselor recommendations. Your counselor recommendation is they recommend you holistically, as a whole, your extracurricular activities, your the way you perform in school. But a teacher recommendation is more what you've displayed in the classroom. So what I do with my research program is I have an oral defense that they do, and I ask them to go and present that in class. Got it? Not just send the link to the teacher and say, oh, please read my research paper. No, when they go and present it in the class, it shows that they're adding to their profile in the sense like they are telling like the teacher that, hey, I did this initiative and I want to share it with my class, right? So that is why it is so important. Okay. Okay, next up, leadership. Leadership is an extremely important skill that they're looking for, is how well, even in like BSMD interviews, they test your leadership skills, your communication skills, your mental toughness, your ambition. All that is sort of looked into. In which case, they're going to look at your activities, your extracurricular activities, right? Have you taken on leadership roles, right? Like you've been in a club, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to like assume leadership later on. When you start off in your freshman year or your sophomore year, you're still a participant, and then slowly you take on a leadership role. So that also they look at the community service and everything, okay? Then there is this BSMD specific essays. I'm going to tell you the 3-part BSMD application process. So the very first time when you apply in your Common App, only Brown requires you to give it all at once. Okay, so you will have the regular supplemental essays and then BSMD specific essays. Why do you want to become a doctor? I mean, why do you want this program? Why do you want to get into this BSMD program? And specifically, they'll ask you about the college. Like, why is it that you want to go to Brown? Or why is it that you want to go to University of Alabama? At that time, you do a lot of research about what offerings they have, the college, and then write that. So those BSMD specific essays are also very, 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 very important. I spend significant amount of time in like writing essays. We reuse them, but then we have one good BSMD essay that we lock down on. Okay, then there is the direct medical interview. Only 10% of the candidates get in. So this year, my student has gotten called to Drexel. Fingers crossed. Oh, I hope she gets in. So we've been preparing for the direct medical interview, which is called the MMI, the mini medical interview. So again, there are different formats for that. It's either there'll be a committee interviewing you, or there'll be just one person running the program interviewing you, or it'll be like a team effort. So there are many varieties that are there. So direct medical interview is another important component in the BSMD. If you've reached this level, that means it's going to be like smooth sailing. You're going to almost get in, right? Yeah. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the application process, okay? The BSMD application process. Number one is you apply. First, you need to get selected into their undergrad program. Got it? For example, University of Alabama. You apply to the University of Alabama through the Common App, and then they will tell you whether there'll be a selection whether you want to do their pre-medical program or their medical program. They will mention that everything there. If you fill that out, then with the acceptance letter, they will send you a login to apply for the BSMD. Then you create another login and everything, and then you write a whole new application process. Oh my God, it's so exhausting. My students applied to University of Alabama, University of South Alabama, St. Louis University, Brown, a lot of people did, Augusta. So one student got into Vanderbilt, he ED'd there. So there is this medical application process, which is excruciating. Got it? And also you need to submit your application well in advance, because like a lot of BSMD programs have very early like it's November 1st is the deadline for the medical process, means you should have gotten selected in, and then you should have submitted it by November 1st, including applications, and got it. And mini medical interview, it usually starts in January to March. So my student got invited. She heard it end of January, and her interview is in March. So this is the 3-step process that is there. Okay, any questions, please type away. Okay, so let's take a breather here. How is everybody doing? Good. Okay, let me grab a little bit of water. Any questions about the process so far? Please type away if I went fast, because you can go back and watch the recording. I will get to all your questions after I finish. I saw that somebody raised your hand. Please type your question. I will get to it, okay? Okay, so next, I'm going to talk about our college acceptances. Like I mentioned, my research student got into Stanford. My other student got into Harvard Pre-Med. She was my essay student. My counseling student got into Cornell Engineering. The BSMD programs that they've gotten into is the Texas NMed. Then Augusta 3+4, and Vanderbilt. He ED'd into Vanderbilt, and he got into Vanderbilt for pre-med. This is the BSMD acceptance letter. I almost wept when I saw this. It was such a pleasure, and the student was amazing. Okay. The other programs that my students have gotten in with scholarship is the Case Western. Rensselaer, my student got about 45K in scholarship, and my students have gotten scholarships in University of Alabama, South Alabama, SLU, Mercer, bunch of schools, and also OSU. I love OSU. Ohio State University has a full tuition scholarship, which is Murrell Scholarship. So the way I build my college list is so that my students can maximize on scholarships as well. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you a question. How do you beat the competition? Okay. Does anybody have any idea about it? Type away if you have any. Can you please maximize the... Okay. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, so I'm just going to continue. How do you beat the competition? Basically, you create a plan that differentiates you from others. I mean, basically, you create a plan for your student that's differentiating from others. And I oftentimes see that parents think that they have mastered all the information that is out there and they can sort of plan for their own children, right? But the thing is, yes, you can have a beautiful plan, but ultimately it needs execution, right? So that is where my strength lies, in guiding students into taking them to the finish line, right? In creating a plan that will give them the best opportunity for the BSMD program. Okay, and our results, my students get into, none of this is assured. I cannot guarantee any acceptance of scholarship. It's against the rule, but my students typically get into 90% of the colleges that they apply to. If they're applying to 15, then they get into 90%. And over 40 plus students have gotten multiple scholarships from colleges, and they've gotten accepted into 200 plus colleges. And they've won like 3+ million in scholarships in total, not just one student, all of them put together. Got it? And now I'm going to show you the programs that I offer specifically for the BSMD and also for college counseling, because I work backwards. I kind of see what colleges are looking for, and I sort of build the college, programs based on that. Okay. So for BSMD, I have 2 programs that are starting in spring, which is publishing a research paper and my BSMD counseling. So I'm going to go over them. Then I have the college counseling. Then I have the comprehensive counseling as well, the BSMD counseling for juniors. It's been separated. So the counseling for the juniors has not started. So, but they can take the research program for that. Okay. Now, publishing the research program paper, it's done under this professor. His name is Dr. Rajgopal Apau. He's a professor in University of Central Florida. I'm sorry, I made a mistake, not South Florida. He's a vaccine developer, toxicologist, chemist, and he is a professor. He's a cancer specialist. So students do research under him. Got it. And in the course of 9 weeks, they do research under him, and they write a journal or a research paper, which is like 4,000 words, which is formatted to be published in any place that is possible. And we help them publish their research paper in JAS at STEM, which is a publication by Dr. Raj himself. Got it? We guide them through that. And it's a 9-week program. They complete that. We give them some more time to write that paper. We help them with the draft, and we help them publish the paper. And you should understand that publishing takes anywhere between 3 to 6 months. It's not an overnight process. If somebody said, oh, my student is getting it published overnight, no, the peer review process takes about 3 to 6 months from the time you finish the program and submit your journal for publication. Okay, so I'm just going to go over this. This is the acceptance letter from Duke. It says that I enjoyed reviewing your application, and the admissions committee was impressed by your innovative projects and research progress. So you see, like a university like Duke, like looks for a research program like deeply. Okay. And then you can look at the past research papers. I'm just going to show you that. You can go on my website and you can see the past research papers that my students have published. I mean, you will be like bowled over the topics that they have published on. I had a student who did research twice under Dr. Rajgopal Apau, which is on the effect of melatonin. I don't even know what that substance is, but he did research on impact of melatonin on breast cancer. So if you see here, these are all papers that my students have written, and I've just posted them on my website. But if you go on my website, you will be able to see students whose paper have gotten published as well. So if you scroll down here, all the details are on my website, giftedgabber.com. Like about the mentor and everything. And if you see here, you will be able to see publication of my students who published their paper already in the Journal of Student Research. If you see here, Om Patil did research on insulin production, which got published. And another was on Alzheimer's. Her paper got published as well. And there are a lot of other papers that have got approved. They are waiting to get published. Okay, so that is the research program that I have. Any questions about the program, please type away. Past research papers, you can look at that. The comparative program, if you see, it starts from 6,000 to 2,000. And please be aware, they're all done under a PhD candidate and not an expert. You get it? We also provide recommendation letters from the professor, Dr. Apau, for good research work. I always get this question that, I mean, is the recommendation guaranteed? Recommendation needs to be earned, right? So that is what they get by working with a professor, and the amount of knowledge that they gain is like pretty amazing. They write, it is part of their activities list, the extracurricular activity that you have 10 spaces. And also they write about it in their supplemental essays. So the student who got into Vanderbilt, he was both in my research program as well as a counseling program. He wrote about, I can't even get that word, river blindness in Africa. So we brainstormed and wrote about that paper in our supplemental essays and everything, especially in the BSMD essay that was there as to why you want to do, or what is it that you want to do after the BSMD program. So all those questions are kind of answered with this effort. Okay, and the pricing is there. And there is a $50 coupon as well that is there that you can apply. Next is the BSMD counseling. This is only for grade 9 and 10. because the juniors need a different kind of counseling because we need to focus on essays and everything. So this program is only for 9th and 10th grade, where in 9 weeks, we work through different components of the program and we build a plan. Okay. And again, that is on my website. You can see that session by session, it's been broken down as to how to become a competitive candidate, how to build honors, awards, leadership, how to extracurricular activities, cover letter and resume. That's so important. And children need a lot of guidance in that, which I help them with. Looking for volunteering opportunities. Then I teach them how to acquire study skills for AP and IB curriculum as well. So again, you will find that on my webpage. If you go here, the detailed page will tell you everything about the program, the duration of the program, what is part of it as well. So this goes into greater detail, session by session, what they're going to learn. And we have a Q&A session as well, like on Wednesday. So there are 2 sessions that they come to. One is on Saturday to learn. And of course, we will have a lot of templates and guides to help them build the profile. Okay, and yeah, so the combined, you can take the BSMD counseling and the research together, and you will get deeper discount in that. Okay. Any questions about the program, please put it in. And then the next is the BSMD counseling for the juniors. Juniors are the ones who are in 11th grade who are applying to the 12th grade. I've not started that program. So please, only if your child is in 9th and 10th, apply to the previous program. Again, the wait list is on the website. You can go here and you can join the wait list. I will be starting the program soon. Because I'm just looking at the trend that is there from my past acceptances and everything, and they're still coming out. So I have to like see what worked, what didn't work, and everything. And that's the reason I've not yet started the program for 11th graders. I will be announcing that soon. You can please join the waitlist meanwhile. Okay, so how do you register? You can register online, like I mentioned, and you can apply Spring 50 at the checkout, which is $50 off. Okay. And I have a special for attendees only because you've attended the program. I'm going to like stop recording so that I can announce the specials. Okay, where is the record button?